Hello, everyone. We are back for another episode in our empowering female and male leaders in holistic health, career, and relationships. Today, I have with me Norm and Toni with Soma Yama, a husband and wife duo. They use trauma-informed breathwork to help others to unpack the boxes of stress that we all carry, and they bring a rare yin and yang energy to their sessions. Norm with his grounded strength and Toni with her intuitive, nurturing heart. They are living proof that you can turn personal hardship into profound purpose, helping their community move from surviving to thriving through breath work. So, hey guys, I'm super excited to have both of you here today.
I'm Nancy.
I'm Macy. Thank you so much for having us. We're excited.
Yes, I'm excited to dive into more of your business, your work, what the amazing results that you're bringing to your clients. But first, I want to get started. Can you share with us your story? What got you here?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Tony and I, we met 6.5 years ago, and we both came with kids and lots of things from the past, luggage, baggage, whatever you'd like to call it. And we were both on our healing paths. So, like, for instance, I was doing counseling, I was doing an EMDR, I was doing some things for some trauma, for things that had been going on in my life. And I was also just trying to keep up with, having family and kids and everything. And Connie was on her own path as well. And so we were looking at different modalities because we just felt like there was something missing. And when we started looking at breath work at first, Tony was like, "Oh, that's good. Go ahead. Why don't you do that? We all breathe. That sounds a little bit boring to me." And and I was like, it's powerful. I just have to, I just got to do more research. So we did some more research and went to a session and had so much release and experienced others releasing things that they were holding in their body. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is what we need to do. And so we're like, this is what we need to share with others because nobody really seems to know much about this. And so we signed up and went immediately. I mean, immediately, as in a couple of weeks, we went and started the training. And so ever since, it's just been an incredible opportunity to keep sharing this.
We were able to, both of us were able to touch in on some traumas. We have both had childhood traumas, adult traumas that we were working through. And that's what he means by a healing journey. We were both working towards growth and trying to figure out how to be the best versions of ourselves, even though we were still carrying a lot from our past, which we didn't know even the half of it. Like, you just don't even know what those boxes are that have been stored within you all throughout your life that are creating those patterns of behavior and just patterns within your life of relationships, things that reactions, triggers. And we knew that we still had a lot to work on, but we were doing our very best to work with the tools that we had. And so being given a new tool of somatic breathwork was so enriching for both of us because we found that it allowed us to go deeper to that root, to be able to unearth some understanding and some clarity and be able to work out a lot of the issues that we had before that we didn't even know how to get there. We didn't know how to get to the root. And that's what somatic breathwork has done. One session at a time, it uncovers, it pulls up the layers that we need to deal with, that we've had buried, and that we're just waiting for us to come back to them and process those emotions. And we've been able to do that. And so that to us has been such a gift of healing that we wanted to share it with others.
Absolutely.
And that's what we've started to do.
Exactly.
So it's been a huge, tremendous blessing every single day.
I love that. I love that a lot. I love both of y'all's energy too. Very connecting. And you can tell that y'all definitely work together on these things. Norm, you are very grounded. I do want you to know that. You are.
Oh, thank you
Good
very
job
much.
in
I
that.
appreciate that.
So I do have a question. How did y'all come up with the name Somayama?
So Somayama um, actually came to me in a meditation, which was really interesting because um, I had looked at pranayama, which is like some of the original breath work that dates way back, and soma means body, and it just came in a meditation, and I couldn't believe that it was even available, but because it perfectly described what we were wanting to do.
It was actually pretty crazy because we ended this meditation and he said, I just got a name for our business. It's Somayama. And I was like, okay, I didn't know what it meant, nor did he at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what was really crazy is that when you look at what Somayama actually means, it's not just body, but feeling, inner body feeling. And then yama is regulation. And so we're the inner body feeling, that is our nervous system. That is what's going on in the inside of us. So it's nervous system regulation. So it made through the breath. So it made perfect sense later when we uncovered what it actually meant.
Exactly.
So it's pretty remarkable.
That's very interesting. I think one of the things that I've learned so much, even about breath work. So you say that and you talk about breath being a part of the body. And in the beginning, Toni, you were just like, that's cool. We breathe on our own. That was me at the beginning as well. I was the same type of concept. Like I breathe every day. Why am I going to stop to focus on breathing? But I do
Right.
breathe every day in so many different ways. I breathe
Yeah,
differently when I'm stressed. I might
that's right.
hold my breath. I might like have more shallow breathing. I breathe
Yeah,
differently when I'm in a workout versus when I'm in a calm environment. I breathe
that's right.
differently when I'm sleeping. So, and each one puts you in a different physiological state.
That's
You
true.
nailed it. That's exactly right. Every
So, yep, go ahead.
every style of breath does exactly what you're saying. It puts you in a different physiological state. It's our bodies are actually a pharmacy, and we are triggering certain chemical releases within our body through the type of breath that we're doing, whether it's conscious or unconscious. We are always producing something. So
Yeah.
the problem is that we get caught in a breath pattern that is actually harmful to our body.
Yeah.
When we're doing that shallow breathing, it becomes toxic because we're bringing in cortisol, adrenaline, keeping our body in this heightened state of alertness all the time. And that shallow breathing is habitual. A lot of us just stay there. That's where we breathe on a regular basis. We don't even realize that we're um, bringing all these toxins into our bodies. And by being intentional about our breath, we can reverse that. We can change that and make it all the good things coming into our body instead of the bad stuff. But it is all about being able to feel safe first in your body. And it's your nervous system that makes the decision to transfer over to the parasympathetic, which is where we start to calm down and be able to produce those positive uh, chemicals in our body that comes from the breath. We can get there through the breath.
Yeah. I love that. Norm, did you want to add something? I felt like you were about to say something.
No, it's true that it's the communication between the brain and the body is lost. Oftentimes, the communication is off, and through the breath, we're actually communicating from the mind to the body. We're saying, "Hey, I am intentionally want to calm down, or I'm intentionally doing this or that. I need to sleep, or whatever it may be. And that breath is actually doing that. It's using the breath, and even to calm, we're actually using the vibrations on the vagal nerve through our breath in those slower breaths, and that is our biggest nerve in the body. And that nerve, when we get that calmed down, it calms everything.
That just reminded me of something. So back to the first part of the conversation, and you mentioned that this was going to be a journey that you were going to go down. I think a lot of people don't realize. So let me back up. People come into this space of the heightened nervous system, fight and flight response, because they're typically looking to control something, right? They need to control the environment and they feel out of control. That is typically in certain situations. But you just mentioned something, and even in the beginning, that made me trigger in my brain. If somebody wanted to be in control, the best thing that they could be in control of is their breath.
Yes.
Because
That's
it
really
has
real.
the ability to change to alternate states.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. That's very well said.
Yes.
And we all want to be in control. It's some of us more than others. But yeah.
I can raise my hand. I can happily admit yes, which is what made me think of it. When I get to this space of super anxiety and I can't control the outcome circumstances, I can control
Yeah.
myself.
That's
Yes.
right. Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's like your first link right there, you know, when you realize that you don't have control of any of those things, is that you bring yourself in control with your breath. And then you can think more clearly about what's going on.
I said yesterday, is it yesterday? Or to someone, your breath belongs to you. And she's like, oh, that's really good. I'm going to write it down. And it didn't seem so such an epiphany to me, but for that reason, that what we're talking about right now, it really meant something to her, meaning I control my breath. It's mine. And we all have a breath that we control. We have the ability to sit with our breath, to actually think about how we're using our breath. And in our own sessions, we say all the time, you're always in control. And that's the beauty of breath work, and the beauty of somatic breath work is it can take you somewhere very deep, but you're always in control, because the only tool we're using is the breath, and it's your breath. So you get to be in control of how that continues. If you ever feel like I'm feeling a little bit overstimulated, or I'm feeling like this is just too much, all you have to do is slow down your breath. And so it's a beautiful tool that's very receptive to what we do with it too. It creates that ebb and flow based on how we use it, and it's very quick. I can get to sleep in 2 minutes, where I would normally lay awake for maybe 2 hours. I can get to sleep in 2 minutes just using my breath a certain way. So intentional breath can absolutely put you back in control.
Yeah. Well, and even speaking of the fact that it's your breath, it's unique to you. Nobody has your breath. Nobody has, number one, nobody has your body. You have your body, but nobody has your breath. Nobody has your breath patterns. Nobody has the experiences you've been through, just you. So when we get to a space of being in that out of control, and the reason I'm bringing that one up is because there's a lot of our listeners, that's where they are.
Yeah.
Anxiety, whether it's anxiety, depression, it's trauma-based, it's all these pieces that have happened in their life, hustle culture, don't be lazy, don't do this, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's hard for a lot of people to sit still, to even think and
so true.
Be into their breath. I notice even when I'm working here at my office, there's moments where I get flustered and I can feel myself like holding my breath. And it's like, are we about to be chased by an animal? Like, have you forgotten how to breathe? And it's a reminder to myself, even with you guys talking, every time you say slow your breath, my body commands and does the thing.
Yeah.
So it is a powerful tool that
Yeah.
can be used for safety for those of us who struggle with losing control.
That's
Mhm.
it. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And it's like we have people all the time that will come into sessions, and so we use an accelerated breath in the first half, and that gets the monkey mind out of the way, right? The mind that wants to think, and when they finish those, they're like, I've never had that space in my life, or very often where I just wasn't thinking about anything. It just was clear, and that's really the key to what we're doing. But it's also the key of what some of us need is that stillness, the ability to get stop with the brain and let the body speak. What is it holding? What is it carrying? What's most important right now? What is going to help us get past these things that our brain just can't quite fathom at the moment?
And it takes us from that analytical mindset where we're always trying to piece together things, we're always trying to figure things out ourselves, we're trying to think our way through everything. That can actually be subsided just by focusing on your breath. When you count through a breath over and over, you're focusing in and you're thinking about the breath going in and out. You're taking your focus away from up here, putting it into the body. And it's literally taking your mind off of something else. And um, especially if you're using like a specific count that's maybe harder to get into. That's why
mhm.
going to sleep at night for me is much easier now that I'm using a 4-7-8, which is an irregular number pattern. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You have to really engage in it and be with it to count it out the way that I do at night. And it it takes me out of all of the monkey mind. I should be doing this. I should have done this. Oh, tomorrow I need to do this. Ooh, I should probably grab my phone and do this. It just takes me away from all of it and it allows me just to be. And then it also allows us to be in that space with our soul, with our spirit, to take us even deeper into that space of um, who I really am, not just up here, but who I am deeply. If we're so busy up here all the time, we don't get to connect with who I am, who I really deeply am in my soul. And that's different than who we're always thinking, what our brain is always thinking and all that
Yeah.
trash. But that's more of a reflection of everybody else.
Yeah. A reflection of the outside versus how you feel about yourself on the inside.
That's right.
Yes.
So you said your count is different. Does that mean that there's no box count? Like we have to fit into a template of a count? Everybody has their own count?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because our nervous systems are all completely different. So,
Yeah.
yes, you can look at a box and go, yeah, that's great. But by extending, maybe you need to extend your exhale and get more into the parasympathetics and get more out of your mind. Those kinds of things, you make adjustments on those, because the parasympathetic, the biggest key of getting into the parasympathetic is long, slow breaths with exhales that are longer than the inhales. Just long, nice and slow. So you can work these in so many different ways.
That's interesting. So I do notice I've tried different types of breath work, and I don't fit in this pattern, which my mind says, make up your own damn pattern. Like, don't follow a
Mhm.
box or a method. So, and I love that you're saying that because it sounds like the way that you work with your clients, it's whatever their pattern is, but we may push it a little bit to its uncomfortability to bring it
That's
back
it.
to a place of balance. Like I'm
Exactly
like
right.
you. I have a shorter inhale, but a very much longer exhale.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And that's it too. And that's how our sessions go. We go into the sympathetic nervous system first. And that's the accelerated breath in that space where people are their body's allowed to start speaking. And then in our second half, we do a decelerated breath with very slow exhales where we come into the parasympathetic into processing and be able to feel and be with things that come up. And really we call it a nervous system reset, which it is, but at the same time, it gives us something. It gives us something. The body gives us something that it's like, this is here. And sometimes that just means you just need to feel it and move on. And sometimes maybe it's something you need to sit with to complete the action. Because, when we hold the stresses and the traumas and the things in the body, it holds there until we complete the cycle. And completing the cycle doesn't mean that we have to be with it for a year or something. It
Yeah.
just means that we just need to be with it long enough to feel it and let it flow out.
And so we actually have a pattern that we use in our breathwork sessions. And when I refer to when I go to sleep at night, I use the 4-7-8, or we talk about box breathing. Those are outside. Those are tools we use outside of a session that anyone can use at any time. But within our session, what we use is what Norm just explained, which is a accelerated breath at first with through the mouth. It's faster breathing. It's a power breath. It's into the belly. You're doing diaphragmatic breathing, and it's circular breath. So you're breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then we go into the second half, like he said, which is the slower. All of it is slower. It's through the nose, and then it's a slower exhale as well. And so this is the pattern that we do use, but going at your own pace is part of the program. You go because you're in control. Every client is told again and again, this is your journey. This is your pace. You go as fast as you want to go. You go as slow as you need to go. There is a reason that we do things on the arc. The arc that we use is fast breath and then slow breath through the mouth, through the nose. These are intentional. Every piece of what we do serves a purpose, but still, the person is always in control of their pace, of their rhythm. We just say, find your rhythm, find where you're comfortable, because everybody breathes differently. And so they're going to have to feel safe within that space. And you're not going to feel safe if you're feeling like you're being forced to breathe a certain way that just doesn't click with you. It doesn't work. So you have to feel like you're in control. You have to know that you're in control.
So this brings me, go ahead.
The incredible piece is that it's like she said, it's everyone's journey, and it doesn't necessarily mean that this guy's going 100 miles an hour and this one's going really slow. That either one's not going to have an experience, because both will. It doesn't matter, because it really is your journey. And for some people, a breath of this is getting their mind out of the way, and that's exactly what it's about. It's only a tool. It's the tool to get into the body, a tool to get to the space where the body could finally have a space, a platform to speak.
So does the breath find the trauma that's holding in there, or does the breath lead the intuition to find it?
Absolutely. It leads the intuition to find it. So the body knows, but the body can't speak when the mind's talking. And so when the mind starts to get out of the way, then the body starts speaking. And typically, the first box or whatever that it might come up for someone is typically not what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
And but I say that with this caveat: every time it happens, someone realizes that actually was holding back this over here, even though it doesn't even look directly related. It actually is.
Yeah.
And so without that cleared first, whatever it may be, and it could be anything. It could be, we had someone say, my father passed in 1984. I processed everything, and boom, here it came back. And then she just was so thankful later, because she's like, I didn't get to actually completely process. I forgot at the time what was going on. There was just so much. I didn't have the time.
So she had to be with it again. And
Yeah.
that cleared a path for her in other ways in her life. But that was so many years removed that she would have never thought that she needed to go back to it. And then I had a client very recently who her blockage was self-love and self-trust. She based her opinion of herself on everybody else. What she perceived, and of course it was projections, what she perceived everybody was thinking about her, which I'm looking at her and saying that those don't seem accurate to me. You're an incredible, beautiful human being. She's like, well, that's what everybody tells me, but I just don't believe it. And so through the process of our breath sessions, she was able to own those beautiful things about herself and really believe it, take it to heart. And she was able to like connect to her soul in a way she had never done before. And she felt her intuition was opening up, and it just was like, and she said it's like healing. It's like you injected me with some healing serum. And it was the fact that she was in her own way, her self-doubt, because intuition is trusting yourself. It requires trusting yourself to trust your intuition and to build your intuition. And so by believing in herself, that was the box that she needed to unpack in order to move forward with this part of herself, which is so expansive, our intuition. So she's got a whole new chapter now ahead of her. And we're both super excited about that.
That's amazing. I love hearing testimonials.
You don't know how it's going to unfold. You just don't know.
Yeah.
When you come into a session, you don't know what that box is that you're going to unpack and how it's going to make room for the next thing. Your body knows. That's what's amazing, is we just trust the process. We trust our body because it knows what box needs to be unpacked next. And so we come into it without expectation. We come in with intention, but not expectation, knowing that, yes, I would love it if I could deal with this feeling that I've been carrying around with me, but I allow the experience to be whatever my body says I need today. And if that sometimes means just laying there and breathing, doing the work, but your body doesn't even move, and you just receive peace, maybe you just get to be. That's the gift. That's what your body said you needed this time. And next time it'll be very different, most likely.
Absolutely. But the thing too with breath work is as we start letting things go, nervous system starts getting to be retrained. Because what we're doing is we're teaching our nervous system that we can process things and that we can show emotion and that we can feel things when they happen. And over time, when we start unpacking these things, our nervous system starts to realize that we are powerful and we can handle things and we can express, and it's okay.
So if somebody's been through a lot of trauma, and let's say they come to you guys, they don't want to necessarily talk about their trauma because some people don't like to do that. What are do people come to you and they do tell you what they came in for, or what kind of problems do they come to you guys for?
Yeah, they often do. They often do.
In the one-on-one
in the one-on-one sessions especially, but even some of the others they do as well. The thing is that you don't have to. The wonderful thing about breath work and somatic breath work is this is a top-down approach would be talk therapy, things like that, and the bottom-up approach is what we're doing, where we're letting the body speak instead, and that does not require talking. If some people, they just need to get this stuff out, they need to express it, and it's gone, and that's it. Some people, we're all different. So some need to be with it longer. Some need to talk about it. Some, each person's different. So, at the conclusion of a group session, we may have nobody that feels like talking, and then everyone might come up to us individually afterwards because it's their own sacred thing. Or sometimes they might all just leave. It's just the way it's about honoring your body and how you feel and what you need to do and what your process is.
So we don't expect anyone to ever tell us why they're there or what they're wanting to work through, because that's completely an individual process. Like you said, some people need to share that. Some people need to have their own space to work through it. And but in a one-on-one session, it's most common for people to share what they're going through, um, based on the fact that no, they don't have to, and they certainly don't always. But you're welcome to share in a one-on-one because it helps us to be able to um, cater our session to your needs, and our prompts that we use throughout the session become more meaningful to you, more specific to what you're needing, and that is helpful just to make it more personal and to take it in a direction that feels more aligned with that person. So it is very helpful to be able to work that way in an open, uh, you know, dialogue. However, and people are very comfortable, and we do feel very, very blessed and honored to hold that space for people where they feel comfortable being able to share with us what they're going through in life, because we deeply care and we deeply are there to help them heal through it and to support them. So I'm grateful that I feel people are receptive to that, and we've really been honored to be able to sit in a space like that for people. So they don't have to share, but it's always a blessing, I think, when people do, because we're able to show them that they matter to us and that where they're coming from is so important and it's validated.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Norm? I felt like you were going to add to it.
No, I think she did great there. That was really, it's true. It's like just allowing people, the biggest piece of what we do is making a safe space. And when we can build that safe space, people are able to let those things out and let things go. And it's not just their mind feeling safe, but it's their nervous system and your body feeling safe. Because your body isn't going to let anything go unless you're safe, feeling safe. That's its job, is to keep us safe.
Yeah, that's our number one priority in a group session, in a one-on-one session, is just create a space of safety, to allow people to feel that it's not up here. You could come into the session believing I'm going to let things go. I have this intention, this plan, that I'm going to move past A, B, and C. And then you get in there and your nervous system tells you really what's up. It tells you whether or not you're going to release anything. It's not about what we think we're going to do. We don't power and work, think our way through a breath session. We allow our body to get into a space where it feels safe enough to start to let go, to start to bring things up. And literally it can't stop. It can't start until that point where you feel safe. And part of being safe sometimes for people is just experiencing it once. So that first session, yes, it's powerful. It will be meaningful, but it may be more about just becoming familiar with the process, being able to say, I've been there, I know what to expect next time. And now, next time, my nervous system is going to feel even safer. I'm going to know what I'm doing. And then they can get even more out of it the next time. So there's no pressure on people to feel safe. Your body will tell you if you feel safe. And that's our job, though, is to try our very best to make to let a person know they are safe.
Yeah. Well, and you provide the space. You're just giving them the guidance and the ability to get there wherever safe feels.
And that's absolutely it, because each individual is doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Right? This is their experience, their breathing, They're the ones getting there, and it's teaching ourselves that we can do this, that we can process, and we can go through and get back and clear these things out. Because it is an individual, each one is an individual journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's about self-confidence, understanding that you can do this. You believe in yourself. You know you have the tools with you every day because your breath goes with you. And we're teaching you a way that you can be in control of your breath, but that goes with you to have more tools like the ones that we've talked about, the box breathing and other, the 4-7-8 breathing, the 5-5 breathing. There's a lot of different versions of breath work out there that are tools you can use in your daily life. So that's where we gain confidence. The more that we use these tools to be intentional about our breath and we see results, we start to realize I do have that power within myself to be in control of my feelings, to be in control of this anxiety, to be in control of my triggers. Those kind of stumbling blocks in our lives that really can make life so much harder for us. We actually have tools that can help us be in control of that. And to us, that's an absolute blessing. It's absolute blessing for us to be able to share with other people because we see how debilitating those things can be for people.
Yeah.
And have been for us.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting because every single person in the world, we all have trauma. We all ran on a different path with completely different tools, and every one of us, and trauma is related to you only. What is traumatic to you? Because nobody else has been on that path. And so you could try to compare this trauma to that trauma to this to that, but you know what? Everyone has their own individual traumas and stresses that they're holding. No one is exempt. And they are original and special, and that is who you are. And it's a result of what you've been through.
Yeah. I think your traumas that you've been through not only change your breath, they change your frequency.
Yes.
And which you vibe. So I think you guys are using, from what I'm understanding, you guys are using breath not just to heal on the trauma side of things, everything that you've been through, but it's to heal the body to a higher vibrating frequency. Meaning on a cellular level, there's a healing. On an organ level, there's a healing. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. They have that tool. When you're searching for how do I heal? How do I heal? How do I heal? How do I get past it? How do I move forward? We have a tool here as well. This is water, by the way.
That's right.
But we have a tool here for hydration. We can look at hydration through cells and organs. We can also look at it as hydration of your mind. And that changes the frequency, which means it changes the breath.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
That's really good.
Because it sounds like it's just as everything elevates, as everything heals. If you think about it this way too, think of some of your clients. And this is my own personal journey that I've been through, my own healing journey. My breath is not the same as what it used to be. Now, do I still have some patterns habitually? Sure. But I will notice I'm a lot slower these days. Like even driving, I don't get agitated in traffic as much. I can slow down. I can loosen my grip on things.
Yeah.
I can change my breath pattern and everything flows with that. So it's more of that healing through an elevated state to being more, I don't want to say enlightened, but at that soul level.
Yes.
To which you came in.
Yes. Yes. And that's so interesting that you say that. There's so many stories of people that go into these sessions and they get in that space of remembering like happy things that happened when they were a kid or things that that they forgot or they just hadn't been in the memory where they're able to find the positives of the past. Just the body still has those things. It's still holding the positives too and the negative stuff. So it's okay it's just incredible to have that opportunity to get to both sides of it,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, or just, spaces like, someone passed, and people are able to go back and revisit that time when they weren't able to be with it at the time. But actually, it's a beautiful thing to be able to literally be back in that space and to feel the things you didn't allow yourself to at that time.
A lot of people have experienced loved ones that did pass. Even just to add to that, in that moment of breath work, they're able to get out of that monkey mind enough that they're just in that space of being and can feel the presence of those who have passed around them. Some of them very, very vividly in their breathwork session with us. And so that wasn't the intention when they went in either. It just, that's what came of it. That
Yeah.
space that they created through their breath allowed them to feel something that had always been there, had already been there, most likely waiting for them to just notice. But in those moments, though, they're transformative. People walk away just like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe I just had that experience. I got to be with one client got to be with her dog that had just passed. Spending just this beautiful time with her dog again, and that a lot of people get to spend time with it. A friend. We've had people spending time with a friend who had passed. So these are things that this is an experience that we don't come into it with people saying this is going to be a spiritual experience, because it will meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
It's your breath, it's your body, it's your journey. So what you get out of it is what you're open to and what you're willing to and what you're ready for. So it's not necessarily going to feel like a spiritual journey for everyone, but it is a healing journey for everyone. It gives people the opportunity to be with what they needed at that time. And some people actually, it can just be a physically healing experience. I just had a client who understood now that she'd been carrying this stress in her back, and she had not even realized that that's where the stress was. But now that she's done with the session, she's sitting there going, whoa, I feel so much better. I feel so much freer. My back feels just released. And I didn't even realize how much tension and anxiety I had been holding in my back, stress in my back. And sometimes we just get used to that. We don't even realize what we're carrying with us. So it can be a physical change where we're literally physically feeling it. It can be an emotional change where we've been able to let something go and bring in something new. So it's a new chapter. It can be a memory, an epiphany. There's so many layers to what can come from that. Just giving yourself space to be. Your body knows what you need now, and it's ready to give it to you as a gift. It requires something as common as the breath, just used in the right way. So we absolutely love, like, as you can tell,
we're very passionate about what we do.
Well, and you guys are very informative as well with it too, because again, you're the facilitator. So you're the one that's showing everybody how to listen to their breath, listen to their body, guide it to where it needs to go. Whether it's a pain in the back, a nerve, or whatever. And that's how I see it, because even in the healing work that I do, like I can see the bones, I can see the organs, like when a client comes to me and being able to connect in that level and know exactly which organ is out of balance and like what's sitting there, and being able to see, the trauma or whatever the body is allowed to or allowing for me to see. But it brings me to this space that you guys just keep saying over, is the breath is the way to heal. So it sounds like if any of you out there who are listening to this you've been through a space where you've tried different types of breath work. This feels different because I've done
Yes.
different types of breath work and it didn't feel near as what you guys are saying. And I think intention is everything
Sure.
into that.
Yeah.
Of what intention are we setting when we go in? Is it just, hey, I want to just, feel less anxious? You're going to get whatever intention you set into it because that's where your breath is going to lead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's so true.
That's true.
Intention is so important. And yet, just like I said, also without expectation.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
our intention in a somatic breathwork session, we allow it to, we have that intention kind of put a pin in it. Like, let's bring it up. Let's think about that intention before we go in. Let's now put a pin in it. And anytime that you need something to think about, you can return to that intention. But as we go through, we offer prompts, we offer guidance in things that kind of taking them through the journey. And we also we let them know you can follow what you can lean into what we're saying, or you can go with whatever comes up for you. We prefer that if something comes up for you, that you stay with it, that you don't have to derail what's happening within you to try to follow what we're saying. It's only there as a suggestion. But that intention, oftentimes people they get a lot out of that. And it helps us as well in a one-on-one session to know that intention so that we can guide through it. But some people actually go somewhere completely different, never even actually coming to that intention. And they're like, whoa, that's not at all what I expected. But that's why we say, come in without expectations. Allow it to be organic. And because sometimes we think this is what we need to be working on. And our bodies think, no, there's something else.
I think intention and expectation are two different definitions that we intermingle a lot.
That's so true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's it. It's interesting too. It's like she said, maybe it doesn't address the intention, but usually it always does. It's just maybe clear over here. And once that's clear, the intention becomes more clear. So, or changed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it opens the door for what's next because it's not a one and done. Anybody
exactly right.
For all of you listening, it's not a one and done. It's never one.
No,
you didn't breathe one breath and that was it. That's all you took. You're still breathing.
No, your nervous system is smart, super intelligent. It only lets out what you can handle at the time. And so that can be small layers to bigger layers and bigger, but it's got to be safe. And so it's not going to let out more than you can handle. That's why it's, like you said, it's a layer process. It's not a one and done.
Yeah.
And it's not to say people don't have breakthroughs in one session, because that does happen.
Yeah.
But that breakthrough, there's still more.
Yes. Yes.
I like to see people on a cadence of healing where they make it a practice instead of just a one time every so many months when they finally are just like, oh, I really need this. I've needed it for weeks and months now. I'm just going to finally make time for it. That's great that you're finally making time for it. That's wonderful. But it puts you on a path that's more of a roller coaster where it's like the really good, then the really bad, then the really good. Whereas if you choose to make a cadence of healing where you're making this into a pattern in your life, where you're going on a regular basis, you're growing, integrating. So you're getting something out of the session, you're integrating it and coming back in a different spot and being able to then get something new and integrate that. And we're on this path of healing, this trajectory of health and wellness of just, we're going to actually make a difference here. This is what makes it transformational. Whereas it can be a one and done if somebody chooses to use it that way. But the real effective use of it is to build on what you're uncovering, what you're unboxing. Your body did not get all this storage within it in one day. This is a lifetime that your nervous system has been packing things away within you that you were not able to deal with at the time. And it's so that you can come back to it. But if we wait until we're 30, 40, 50 to start unpacking, we got to expect it's going to take some time. It would be, opening the floodgates if we let it all out at once. And that's not how it works in somatic breathwork.
Right.
We allow the body to be in control, which means it's going to protect you. It's going to only unpack one layer at a time that you're ready for at the time. Doesn't mean only one issue will come up for you. You may have like multiple thoughts at the end of a session, like, oh, I thought of this and I thought of this and this and this. But none of it would be overwhelming for you.
Right.
It would just be maybe things you found in the box that you unpacked today, maybe multiple things.
Yeah. I used to tell my clients all the time, healing is not like Amazon Prime.
Right.
It doesn't come tomorrow.
No.
It comes today, but it's only in pieces. It's like expecting a big old package and you're only getting one part of it at a time.
Right? You order the puzzle, but you get one piece at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of life too. We get one piece at a time.
Thank God.
Every day is a new piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So healing is the same way. And it's a beautiful process. And it's actually just a treasure for us to be able to be in that space, to hold that space with people, to help them to grow and to become and to go deeper, find out what's been blocking, find out how they can become happier with who they are, better at being just in the space that they have in life, like really appreciating it, loving who they are, and being able to forgive, get past things that have really held them up. So it's been absolutely amazing. It's hard for me to put it into words because I feel so blessed by it. But to be able to hold that space for people is such a blessing.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of the things that's so incredible about it is that it can take somebody who's in a space of not necessarily even remembering their traumas and even after talk therapy, EMDR and other things, weren't able to see what the traumas were. And they can actually oftentimes see them in the session and finally be able to have something to work with, understand where some of their traumas came from, because our nervous system's so amazing that sometimes it's just blocking it out for now because we couldn't handle it. And we don't remember some of the traumas that are there. And so sometimes those will come up in these and people are able to finally grasp what some of their trauma is and why they're acting the way they are in their life.
And it's an unveiling process. So even after the session, we continue to have things come up for us. So like if something did come up for you that maybe you've only been able to sit with it for this long and you got something out of it, but if you journal about it later, we definitely strongly promote integration after the session and sitting with it, giving it time to continue to unpack, because it will do that. That's what will happen if you allow it, because you've kind of moved things around, shaken things up a bit, and they will continue. So walking, taking time for yourself, spending time away from the phone, away from electronics, away from other people, just alone time, whatever that looks like, being able to just be. And then also it helps us to find, like he was saying, it helps you to find the answers, the questions to ask. Yes. So that we can get the answers. So, for example, as he was saying, we don't know what's in those boxes, but when something comes up, it may only be a word. It may only be a vision, like a glimpse. But then if we're in, for example, talk therapy or EMDR or whatever that is, if we're using it in conjunction with other therapies, it becomes that talking point that we were looking for. It helps us to know what questions to ask in those sessions, or to say, this is what came up for me. What can we do with that? This is a starting point. So it all can work together very,
Yeah,
very well.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't ever believe that there's one modality that wins over another. I think
Absolutely.
everything can work together cohesively to
That's
help
right.
you and the person. It's like when somebody comes to me, I'm like, don't just use me. I'm not the only person. I'm not the do all be all see all. Go
Right.
explore other things that further support your healing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
it's so true. And that's really what it's about when you're in the healing space. It's about caring and loving enough about people that you want them to get healing no matter where it
Yeah.
is, no matter what it is, because it's anything can be relevant for somebody.
Yep. 100%. Well, this was great, you guys. Thank you so much. Share with
Thank
everybody
you.
where they can find you, how they can get in touch with you.
All right. So we are Samayama Breath. So we're samayamabreath.com. And we can also be reached by phone number. You can call us 208-391-1903. We'd love to talk.
We're located in Nampa, Idaho. This is where we live. We have a home studio in Nampa, but we also do our business elsewhere. We do it in the Treasure Valley throughout at different studios, and we offer online sessions
Yeah.
as well.
And,
Yeah, I was
and the
gonna.
online sessions, honestly, people question whether they can be, how well they work. Honestly, they are incredible. They really, truly are.
Yeah.
Um, and so in the Treasure Valley, we have a home studio, which is Balance Yoga, which we're there every other week. And then we do group sessions around the valley at other locations. And
Awesome.
and we also wanted to just do one little more shout out. We've got another phase coming, which is going to be Samayama movement, which will be, so we're going to work on somatic movement as well. So that's coming up soon.
That'll include ecstatic dance. Yeah, so we're very, very excited to be bringing Heidi on for that. And we've also added just recently the sound bowls, a sound bath at the end of our sessions as well. So those sessions then become a 2-hour session instead of just the regular 1.5-hour session. So for the last half hour, people get to sit with this beautiful frequency and whatever came up for them, and just continue to process it and continue to begin to integrate. It's just an absolutely beautiful addition. Everybody's been telling us, "Oh my gosh, this is so great," and this helped so much more than just the final times that they had, because at some point you have to end the session, and most people are always, they're like, "I don't want to be done. I don't want to be done." So this is that bonus, that extra 30 minutes, and it's in a beautiful setting of frequency and vibration, and yeah, so that's been amazing too.
It sounds like I'm hearing another episode coming up of now dance. Like I need to know more about this now.
Absolutely. Yes.
The Korean that's been doing our sound baths. I didn't say her name. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, I don't want to be a billboard of all these names and credits, but I always wanted to say all these people that we are so thankful for. But just know that it's beautiful to have a team. We have an amazing network, amazing people that support us, and we've been so blessed to be connected with them. So we're just really grateful for each and every person that's part of our life, because we're all working together.
Yep.
To support
absolutely.
And
all right, fam.
We appreciate you so much and
Thank
all
you.
you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's really incredible.
Well, we're going to bring you back because now I'm going to have to hear about dance, and now I got to hear about sound bowls. So I got to hear about all of it. So,
Awesome. Yes.
All right,
So-
fam. We're going to be posting all those links in the description. So you guys go check them out, get connected with them. And even if you're outside of the country and you can't text them, you can hit them up on Facebook Messenger and you can still get sessions done. So other than that, we will catch you guys on the flip side.